All right, guys, let's talk about what's going on with the Batman 2. It's officially been delayed 1 year. On top of that, Batman the Brave and the Bold, per the director Andy Muschietti, that movie is also being delayed. So it seems like there's a lot of stuff going around behind the scenes in Warner Brothers. So let's just discuss it. James Gunn comes in as the new CEO of DC Studios after the Robert Pattinson movie has already been made, right? So we already have a really successful Batman movie that made $750 million. James Gunn, is pretty cordial. He's pretty professional. He's like, yeah, I'm going to let Matt Reeves continue to do his own thing, but we're going to bring in our own Batman into the DCU in Batman the Brave and the Bold, and he's going to have his son Damian Wayne. And I thought, perfect. As a huge Batman fan, we're going to continue to get like Elseworlds, darker Batman, but we'll also get the comic accurate Batman with James Gunn. And at first, I thought it wasn't a big deal, and that casual fans wouldn't really have a hard time understanding it. I think a lot of stuff, and this is just my opinion, shifted after The Penguin. Because after The Penguin came out, you now have one of the #1 shows on TV on Max. So on top of having a really, really successful movie, Matt Reeves has now made a really successful show. And now the debate is, could there be two Batmen at the same time? Or should we put Pattinson into the DCU? Or should we just cancel the Batman franchise altogether and just go forward with the Brave and the Bold with a new Batman? I've thought about it and I've completely changed my mind. I think you have to have, first of all, you only can have one at a time. So the option of having two at the same time is off the table. They can't do that. You can't have the Batman 2 and you can't have the Brave and the Bold. Absolutely no way. It's way too confusing. If there was no social media and it was just the movies coming out, maybe. But when you think about the fallout, what's going to happen on Twitter, all of the conversation, it's just going to be totally confusing. There are people who still don't even know or are still confused about Henry Cavill not being Superman. So I just think it's a terrible idea. I would bring Robert Pattinson. You already have established he's a successful Batman. He had a $750 million movie. I would bring him into the DCU, and I would merge the Brave and the Bold and the Batman 2 into one movie. I think you bring Matt Reeves' universe, maybe make it a little bit more comic booky, but bring that universe into the DCU. As difficult as it may be, as confusing as it may be to deal with the difference in tones between the Batman universe and what we want in the DCU, I still think that's much easier than having two at the same time. You cannot have two at the same time. On top of that, I don't think getting rid of Pattinson and hiring a new Batman and have that being the new Batman, the Brave and the Bold, I think that's a terrible idea. You've already replaced Cavill. If you're going to replace another Batman that not everyone likes, but a lot of people like, I think you're going to have issues. It's true a lot of people have a problem with Batman. It's not a perfect movie, especially among comic fans, although among the general public, the Batman is seen as a very, very good movie. So I'm really curious to see what's going on here, and I think what's really happening is Zaslav, who's CEO of Warner Brothers, James Gunn reports to him, and then Matt Reeves reports to James Gunn. That's the reporting structure right now. But I think Superman is going to dictate a lot of things. I don't think they want to greenlight or begin working on any movies until they see what happens with Superman. If Superman makes $1 billion and is super successful, I think James Gunn is going to have the full power to do whatever he wants. He already should have that power. That's the whole reason he was hired. But Zaslav is a little bit of a doofus, so he's going to wait for it to be successful. If it's not successful, and by not successful, I mean under $500 million, if it's under 500, which is good for a movie, but not for this movie, then I think they're going to have some second thoughts. Then I think they might be like, you know what, we're going to keep doing this Reeves thing. That made a ton of money. We're not screwing around with all these wonky characters with James Gunn. So we'll see what happens. It's a big, big deal. I think this is the #1 story in Hollywood. But what I always compare it to is James Bond. And there can't be two James Bond at the same time. It would be terrible for the brand. Similarly, I think there should be one Batman at a time. Not only one Batman at a time, one Batman per era, similar to Bond. There should be one Batman every 10 to 15 years. Even if he ages, you adjust the story. But I don't think you should just keep swapping the character with different actors. I think it severely hurts the brand. Thanks, guys, for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you want one Batman, if you want two Batmans, or which one you want. It's a pretty good debate. I understand both sides, but I think Pattinson should come into the DCU as our Batman. That's my take. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.